you out.
Actually, I can't speak for the ACLU.
You don't got to speak for them, but I'll give you some knowledge right now.
Please.
We're the ones who forced you guys to go public about the issue that's going on with San Jose City Council, where
Let me write this down so I can look it up. Paranoid about dropping my...
maybe you guys could help. I'm always looking to get in connection to organization with people, no matter who they are.
Sure.
I intend to take, I don't know, corruption straight back to our counties.
I love that.
Yeah, and I am. You could get down my information from
please.
Instagram, and you can see what I'm doing. I'm only one person, and I'm not doing it by myself. But I've reached out to you guys before for my personal behalf, my issues. But to be honest, at this point in time, like, I'll never get justice for my son. I'll never get justice for myself, and that's fine. At least I could take that pain, that hatred, that hurt, and give it to others. And so that's why I kind of do what I'm doing. I'm not gonna let my pain, suffer in what is the word squander, and become nothing and lifeless, like the majority of people do. You're out here still fighting at your age. I'm out here still fighting at my age. No matter what we every step we take is a next process, right? And we give that to others. What is this all for if we're not going to deliver that back to the community, right? Exactly. So it's not like bitching and moaning and staying, like, started harboring my own, conscious mind, and I've taught myself a little bit of legalese. I started taking on the judges. I started taking on, they started like picking up the DAs. I started picking up the county of education. Like, it's a really crazy story. But
what's your Instagram?
It's 333. And so we are the ones who basically are forcing you guys to call for the disclosure of the documents of the Tammany Hall incident, where city council members were being racist and vulgar to our community members. They're basically using our community members, to their own political gain. And they had a chat called Tammany Hall. And they were organizing between Omar Torres, Peter Ortiz, Domingo Candales, and a few other people, like Brenda Zendajas or something like that. So you guys, ACLU, and the mayor of San Jose are currently calling for the demand and the release of these documents from the Tammany Hall, and from what we released, which was the fact that these sitting council members knew about the allegations of Omar Torres, who was sexually assaulting students. They had whereabout ahead of time. Yeah, they had knowledge ahead of time. We got the documents from the victim. San Jose Spotlight came in and purchased the documents, not from us, but from the victim. Yeah. They beat us to it when they found out we were investigating. And so we ended up going public with what we had, forcing San Jose Spotlight to go public about what they had, because we called out San Jose Spotlight, San Jose Police, we call it the mayor, the city council.
Put it out there.
Yeah, and so they had to public. This was last week.
Okay, I feel a little bit better. So much happening. Yeah. That is dope as fuck. I love that.
So
Can I see all this through your
through Instagram. It's there. And so the county is kind of worried about me because I keep on I'm not a stupid guy. I'm not trying to
I can tell.
I'm not trying to brag about who I am. I'm just saying, there's power within us. And obviously we're having a conversation. I'm just expressing who I am. You obviously do this too. And I'm just associated. I really hope that you guys follow through with releasing the documents, because this guy just got another $1 million for the council member, for his rapid response team. This is a big, severe issue of impropriety, and he should be investigated. He's technically supposed to be investigated because it's impropriety while in office. Sure. But the mayor just granted him another $1 million from that this guy was connected to these scandals of the sexual assaults and covering it up. And then you also know that he was in the Tammany Hall scandals. Why would you ever allow this man to have another $1 million to his SEC rapid response team? No offense to them, but the SEC rapid response teams is who got that $1 million, who is getting a portion of that $1 million. And I'm not trying to hate on the rapid response teams. They are also associated with these people who are not properly protecting our people. Yeah. The SEC rapid response team, they allegedly have a job to do to protect our people, whether it's to deny or confirm, ICE is out there. But they're withholding, the statements to officially deny that ICE is out there. So, like, I've been personally going out there to really talk with the community, like, hey, have you guys seen ICE? Have you guys seen ICE? Is it ICE or is it the police? Yeah. And so I've been actually visually refuting those claims, as you'll see. But like, they're picking fights with us now because it's like we're doing their job, but which they never like, right? And so, right. But the thing is, I think they're working with law enforcement and immigration because they have the knowledge that we have. All it is communication, like we're doing right now. They have the whereabouts that we have. They're getting the allegations, whether they're fact or fiction. They're getting the same allegations that we're getting. We're trying to get ourselves out there to go investigate them now. But they know, with connection to law enforcement and to the immigration, because I guarantee you they're having conversations with immigration. because obviously they are. They're
It's at
working.
the forefront right
Yeah,
now.
they're working also with attorneys who are working with immigration to find a settlement. Of course, they're working with ICE. They're getting all this information, but they're not denying to give comfort to the community, and they're telling everyone else, you guys are fear mongering. But how is the community fear mongering when you guys have the proof of denial? Why won't you just automatically deny proof that ICE isn't here? You allow that fear mongering to go on because you have the evidence, but you're not putting it on the table for the people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went out there yesterday, and they were mad because I went out there, and they were like, you guys said it was ICE. We didn't say it was ICE. The community said it was ICE, and we investigated. I proved it was sheriffs. I was up in their face personal and got
Look
their
at these
cards.
pictures, yeah.
So I got their cards. The thing that was going on was the sheriffs were purposely acting like ICE, just deliberately racially profiling the Mexicans. They were on front of like all these like the whole plaza. They were like in the front of each handicap zone in each aisle, several fucking undercover cars, just pulling people over or stopping out and stopping people who were just walking by, and it was all the Mexican community. And so that's where the uproar started, where there's agents, ICE. So we went there to investigate, but it's like the sheriff is deliberately out there without probable cause stopping people. And we're talking about American citizens. My concern, why are the sheriffs, and that's why I went out there, because you're discriminating against our community. You're racially profiling our Mexicans. So I went out there, was like, hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm recording, blah, blah, blah. You'll see it in the videos if you check. Like, why is the sheriffs or the SCC like deliberately announcing this where it's like, hey, or even why isn't the SCC out there doing what I was doing? You're supposed to represent the transparency, because regardless of whether they're immigrants or not, they're the Mexican community or they're just Americans. They were racially profiling without probable cause, just stopping people without no arrest, just detainment, investigate, and it's not even nice. And do you see what I'm saying? Posing, almost to fear monger our community. And so that's when I stepped in and they stopped everything. They were like, you got the right to record. Oh yeah, PC 148G, blah, 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 got their cards. I was like, you guys are scaring the shit out of the community. They're like, no, we're not. We're doing this and that. I was like, nah. Guys, if you guys wanted to do a sting operation, you wouldn't be in front of everybody where everyone could see you. You're here, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. There's cars over there, blah, blah. You'll see it in the video. I'm like, how are you guys out here pretending to do a sting operation, but you're just collectively everywhere where we could see you. Like, you're not hiding. You're fucking scaring the shit out of the community. You guys are picking.
Recently, that reminds me, Oakland recently did a DUI checkpoint, right? They put it on their website weeks ahead of time. It came about, and people were the same kind of reaction, because right now a little scared.
Everyone's a little scared.
So they're doing the same thing. Why couldn't the city have done that, right? If it's so innocent, if it's like, oh, we're just doing a DUI checkpoint, for example, let the fucking community know weeks ahead. If it's so, that's something you. Even if it was, well, it was sheriffs. Sheriffs is like more civil. If it was a really sting operation for the businesses, San Jose City would have been there, but they weren't. There was no San Jose City in sight. And so they were like, it was almost as appearance if they were ICE. But the thing is that you just mentioned, they would have announced that to the SEC. So I waited to publicize the story because I knew that they were watching us. The police admitted they were watching us, our pages. And I know SCC Rapid Response is watching our pages because they ended up fucking well, I'm assuming they messaged me, because who else is going to message me? But they were just basically like, they messaged me, good evening, I would like to inform you that the alleged ICE activity at 311 North Capitol Avenue in San Jose, California was in fact sheriff officers conducting a search and capture of a suspect. We have revised everything clearly, but we kindly ask you to provide factual information. Trying to diss me, right? I didn't even put a publication or video of it, like, not for my personal. Like, why don't you clarify before any of this shit? Exactly. Or even, okay, so it's like they're trying to kidnap somebody or find someone, right? Yeah. Bad person. Fucking publicize it afterwards. Publicize it afterwards, right? You're so right. Why scare the entire community? Because I'll pull it up right now. Look at it. On their most recent post, nothing, hey, how do you prepare in Spanish if you have loved ones? That was the most recent post. This was 2 days ago. To make them look all stories, nothing. It's like, you got to understand, the whole east side community of San Jose, we're thousands, maybe million people, fucking scared. And they're not scared because of what they seen just yesterday. They're scared because what they've seen collectively, right? A lot of people are scared. How can other people be fear-mongering when you are the motherfuckers in charge of finding a solution with us? But nothing. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm pissed. And especially they got granted $1 million, remember? So some bullshit is going on. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm about to denounce SEC and any rapid response team. And so. Shit. Well, I work with a team of ACLU people. We're out there right now. I'll add them so that you'll have more followers, and hopefully we can get the word out here. Yeah. If you come to the next protest, this is something people should hear about. Voices, real fucking pure and logic, rhythm, rhyme.
So.
Oh, no, I preach that all fucking day. Like about the trans community. The way they're making immigrants look like fucking criminals. Let's look and look up the statistics. That is no lie. That is proven. Like I talk about this all day with people. I'm fucking sorry. And I've never been to San Jose. You said that it's predominantly Latino.
Predominantly Latino.
Damn.
Yeah.
I cannot believe they fucking did that.
I mean,
and was it one stop or was it multiple?
no, it was multiple stops. So there were multiple stops. We got multiple
in the
pictures.
community,
They were all
fucking
Mexican.
staring.
They were in the back of the building. They were in the corner of the plaza. Like they were just everywhere. And
Audacity.
and
No,
you get what I'm
that's
saying, right?
totally-
It was
no, somebody organizing this shit would have been like, hey, you know, this might scare people. It's like,
especially
I
at a
cannot
time like this.
see it.
If they were doing a proper sting operation, if they got the people who were committing this crime, nobody should have been released because they were committing a crime.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be detaining or arresting people who aren't committing a crime. You should know because you're collaborating with the businesses inside and you're watching and organizing, but you're not going to give away your position. They were literally, you watch the video, they were literally in front of each fucking building, almost like if they wanted to be seen as allegedly ICE. But if they really wanted to make a proper stop, which would be safe and sound, especially for safety, right? Especially officer safety. They love to claim they would have followed, because they had multiple cars. They would have followed out those cars, pulled them over down the block, and done it that way.
Safe way.
This was in public. This was like, something's wrong here. Everyone knew it. We had several community members like myself come out like to
They did
investigate.
Scare people.
Exactly.
I wonder what the fuck.
See, that's the next question. That's the next question I had. What are you guys going to do next? Because I know the police and I know the sheriffs are organizing by law. They have to know when other government agencies like DEA or FBI, they're supposed to give respectful communication. This is what we're doing. You're not just supposed to go in there. You're supposed to have document proof. What am I doing here? Where am I going? What am I doing, right? They're supposed to collaborate to keep our community safe under municipality policing powers.
Yeah.
How the fuck wouldn't you know that these people are in and out of your city? They are working and collaborating together. You know, and I understand they can't give us some information for national safety, right?
Yeah.
But they're clearly collaborating, and it's common sense.
I'm gonna message you.
Another thing is the police, immigration, ICE, they're wearing police clothes. That's invalid. It's not legal. Police stands for, it's an old Greek word for, police is an old Greek word for city. So police wear city, police basically are wearing police logos because it says city for under municipality policing powers. They represent city powers. That's what it is. They are a power of the city. That's why it says police. It's an old Greek word that represents city under municipality policing powers, city. So, yeah, no, and you guys should know that. That's what I told the sheriff yesterday. I was like, no, if ICE is going to be out here, they better not be wearing sheriff and they better not be wearing police because basically I'm not going to consider them a legitimate organization. If they're representing city, then I'm going to hold the city accountable. Does that make sense? Because the city should also be out here, be like, hey, you're not wearing the proper, uniform. That you're representing us now. You know what I'm saying? So
I think the city might be emboldened because of what shit's happening.
they don't
in the
have.
country.
It's federal.
They're like, oh, we don't have to do that anymore. We don't fucking
Yeah,
have to.
exactly. It's federal. Whatever laws they pass, something happens, and the city is manipulating the people too because they're claiming sanctuary cities. It's invalid. If you're going to claim sanctuary cities, you're going to have to gear up your police and be like, we're going to consider ourselves a separate kind of. But they're not, and it's only manipulating the people. So either we are a sanctuary city or we're fucking not.
No, you're right. And it should be fully transparent. Why can't we be transparent with our fucking citizens?
It's basically considered the manipulation of the process and considered false statements generally.
Yeah.
There's a federal law behind it. So all of these statements that are put on record from our mayor, from our police officers, these all like on public record.
Yeah.
When they say these statements, they're almost making manipulated false statements generally. We could hold them accountable, and probably people should, especially the ACLU. You could counter sue them for using these statements. Say if someone gets arrested and you're like, hey, you guys had knowledge, you have to first find the knowledge, and then go back and sue them, right? And that's how you start knocking people off and holding accountability. And
That's what we're doing.
it's a long process.
It's a long process, and I can't tell you that we have thousands of pending cases right now. And I will be honest with you, most of them are immigration, which is what you're talking about in a way, but immigration, trans rights, voting rights, women's rights, student rights. And I can tell you that because I'm a volunteer, it took a long way for me to the ACLU in regards to helping out even. So I want to say the communication is going to be slow, but I could help you get in contact with any. I actually just messaged you for ACLU on your Instagram.
Okay.
Let's chat. I love. Fuck. I didn't know anything about this, and I can't wait to watch your fucking videos.
No, you should.
Man,
I try to be as articulate as
you're articulate.
try to like do
Very
overlay
intelligent.
proof.
I'm very impressed by you. I didn't know anything about this, and I'm just thinking about your community. There's no reason anyone would do that and not the intent not be to scare the community.
Exactly.
To appear to be ICE. Why would they do such a big, exactly, a
broad in the open? Look at me. Take a look at me.
And what would have happened if you guys didn't call them out, right? It would have gone.
It would have kept continuing. It would have spiraled out of control.
And
whereas
it
like
probably would have been ongoing.
more
right?
fear mongering.
Now
Now everyone's like, hey, Fernando's out there.
I love it, and that's what it fucking takes.
Yeah, no,
That's what it
100%.
fucking takes.
I don't get my side. They know, they're like, hey, there's this little crazy Mexican running around.
They should feel watched. They should.
That's a good point.
I used to work in retail for 10 years, and there was cameras on me 24/7.
Yeah.
ACLU's and why officers have cameras on them, by the way.